How is that worse? That'll do. Hey Essential, hey Ouroboros, hey Joel, hey Paul. How are we all? Actually, it's one of the most effective glass cleaners, funnily enough. Hey Bob. It's one way to guarantee a streak-free shine. It was more the cloth that I was using. Shop rags aren't the best for not being oily as hell. Yep. I love that someone went to the trouble of making a list of the sciences and whether or not you can lick it. Morning, Adam. Hey, Tech. Thanks for dropping in. Hey, Bryson. I haven't had a chance, to be honest. I will get there, I promise. Morning, Adam. Yeah, Essential, I'm forging today. I have a couple of things I need to get forged. And so I'm like, hey Kat, yeah, that ding was Alex. Hey Alex. Hey Ignis. Hey Ed. How are we all? Yeah, Alex deciding to message me right when I start streaming, like usual. So, what we got here is a piece of 1094. "14 hours of milling wood, that sounds fun. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was a good episode. I liked it. Yes, coincidentally. Coincidentally. I have an integral hunter to forge. So I'm going to be forging a hunter. Morning, Dogburn. That's good, Ignis. That's good. All right. Gas is on. All good, Alex. Thanks for checking in, mate. You need a new gas bulb for this. So we got a bar of 1084 in the forge. I'll show you that crack, Bob. See that? Don't know how it happened. It's exactly contrary to the grain. Weird. Waiting for my replacement handles to show up. Oh, you got me on the big screen. That's terrible. Be able to make out all of my flaws. Good luck with your boxing, Ignis. Blue up's always fun. Hey, White North Forge. Welcome to the channel. Morning. Bar of 2 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch 1084. I'm going to be forging a hunting knife, full tang hunting knife, with an integral jar thing. It's raining today, which is good. My chickens don't like it though. Say hi to the girls. Yeah, I got chickens. Something that my wife has been planning for a long time. in a non-preview. I'm glad you clarified. Yeah, rescue chickens, that's the one. Battery, that is better. Okay. Chook is one of your nicknames. Well, that's a decent nickname. Chooks are cool. Yates. So many Alex. And front-facing cameras. The chooks. I don't know about that. But I figure, what's the point in buying brand new chickens when there are chickens that need a home? So this has been drawn out in the previous build. I'm just going to make use of that. Hammer technique's always a bit wobbly and annoying. Hey, Jared. Fair enough, Dogman. Yeah, I've found that chickens aren't too bright in general, but, you know. Hey Chaz, how we going? Well, I know how all of you are going, because I'm from the future. So, I already know how last night went. All good, Caitlin. The top of my anvil is rusty. I am making a hunting knife. Fair enough, Debugger. That's always a pain. Yeah, I spilled some ferric chloride on top of my anvil. I needed to actually isolate a little bit more. I did take some photos of my hunting adventure. Not a lot. Yeah, it always sucks when you spill it. Better than spilling hydrochloric though. I'm not doing a bolster. It's not an integral in the sense that you would think of an integral. It's only going to have the integral guard drop. I know someone who has made a Damascus anvil. Sam Salvati made a Turkish twist Damascus anvil face. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, they made the Damascus handle, that's true. That was a baby anvil. I think the one Sam Salvati welded a face onto was like, I think it was like 30, 40 kilos. It's quite a large anvil. So my really quick, shitty drawing skills, this is going to be the flat template. It's not going to have a bolster built in, but this drop down here is going to be forged in. So that guard lug, just to make it easier to understand. So this is going to be the forged plank. Hey Aaron. Hopefully that makes it easier to understand. It's a technique that was pioneered by the great Nick Rossi, and I've kind of really started liking it, or I've liked it for a long time, so it's something I plan on doing a lot more of. Using that nice diagonal pane. Paint out the material a bit. Hey Damascus. Hey Paul. Dickety doo. That's the one. Hey, okay. Belt buttons. Cool. What should the other steel be for Benzel Damascus? Something relatively simple carbon, so like 1084, 1095, 1070, that kind of stuff. If you're using only scrap, then file steel is good. Yeah, file steel is good for the other one. Bearing, like 52100. Forging it into an angle iron, right? Yeah, so anything like that. Simple carbon. Wow, that's all right. could just buy a length of all thread and some nuts. Trying to gain a little bit more length on that handle. I have a feeling I might have to clip this off and start again. I underestimated the amount of stock I needed. That'll be good, Jared. A little less forge work, more file work. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, 1.2 is pretty good. Like I somehow had an errant hammer blow at some point. That nice distal taper going. Taper tangs are awesome. No, it won't always be brittle. Yeah, hammers, hardies, that kind of stuff. It'll be like a 1045 equivalent. Somewhere thereabouts. Hey, Dragon Water, how we going? Ontario. Children have arrived. Hey, Daniel. Yeah, I think I managed to save the handle. Looks all right. Look up a tank drum, okay? I will. Hey, Lucas. Drum management. All right. Kind of like a knee drum, like yeah, those things. One the hippies all play. I have enough projects on my list right now. No, not a bongo. The steel. I think they call it timpani. Like the timpani drum. Timbaru. Timabru. All I can read that is in a New Zealand accent. Now we're going to do the second set down for the guard. Give myself a bit of space. Okay, now I've set the shoulder. I'm not going to bother trying to work it down while it's on the stock. I'll cut it off and turn it around. Where's my cut? There it is. Too much is better than not enough. Right there. Fair enough to match this. Caribbean steel drums are different. Yeah. Tundra. Was Roy still live when I went live? I know Roy was live this morning, I just don't know if I stepped on his screen. Hey Daniel, I gave Daniel a spanner. Was he not live? Maybe I'm imagining things. I like to hit check, hit check, hit check. Hey Ben! See you, Jared. Jump in the spider. There's so many spiders in my shed, it doesn't really matter. Okay, Roy wasn't live. I was just like, you know, I was losing my mind. Hey, Benny. I'm glad you made it too. Yeah, you're talking to an Australian. You can't really scare me with the threat of spiders. Now just do this for half a day. Come on. I love that the moment I start using his tongs is the time he leads. Well, it's going to be small for me. Thanks, Caitlin. I appreciate it. Hey, Matt Butler. Yeah, I wouldn't keep a spider as a pet. That's mainly because I have that many just living around me anyway. Which shirt? This one. The very, very holy shirt that I'm hiding behind my nice apron. Yeah, no, my dog doesn't hunt mice. And now we have chickens, so we're going to even have even more mice. Occasionally they flit across the corners of my shop while I'm standing here. I'll just see them out the corner of my eye. Yeah, no, 5-minute epoxy owes 5-minute work time, and then, you know, 24-hour set time. Yeah, that sucks, Debaka. Yeah, chickens eat mice, but where we store the hay and stuff like that, all of the mice like to play in it. Yeah, that's it. I've got the Pope shirt on. Fair enough. I'm allergic to cats. I'm not a fan of cats. don't have a barn cat. I don't have a barn to put a barn cat in. We have enough of a cat problem here in Kwinana. I'm not adding another one. Only good cat around here is a dead cat. Yeah, we get snakes around here. Just making an integral hunter, Matt. Yeah, it's not going to happen, Damascus. Problem we've got with cats around here is that there was a new law less neutered and microchipped, and when it passed, everyone just let their cats go, and suddenly we had a massive feral cat problem, and all of our native animals are dying. All of our bandicoots, numbats, bilbies, all those native wildlife, a lot of our native bird species and stuff like that are close to extinction because of fucking feral cats. So here, only good cat's a dead cat. I've never had frog's legs, but I have had cat. I have had snake. I haven't had cat. I haven't eaten cat. Not what I want to. Seems I'm allergic. Slingshots, yeah. Mountain lion, that'd be interesting. Yeah, only problem with crossbows is they're illegal in Australia. No, I just trap them and give them to the local ranger. Crocodiles like that. Crocodiles are a cross between chicken and fish. It's a very interesting flavor. It's, you know, it's very unique. I have not just kept the moustache, and I think my wife would divorce me if I did. Grinder, but I'll forge out that little intake a little bit more. Hey Island Metal, hey Yomas, how you doing? Alright, well, we'll stop that conversation now, Caitlin. Hammer number 13, congratulations. D-guard buoys. I've made one in the past, I do plan on making more in the future. That vice really isn't built for. So that's pretty much all I have to achieve. I have a post vise. It's like right there. It's just never been mounted. All good, Yamas. Yamas always gets more love than me. Because I'm lazy? That's the for the reason I don't do most things. I'm not lazy. Honestly, you can tell me that I'm not lazy. See the friggin' mess that I leave behind? I'm lazy as hell. Hey, Curtis. I should probably use this camera, it's a little bit better quality. Hey Tim, making a hunting knife. That's my organization. Yeah, that is pretty much how I organize things. I have not mentioned pre-cut knife blanks, and that's mainly because I don't friggin' use them. Well, whatever generates your mass buildings. I know where most things are, it's true. It's when Andy cleans up for me that I forget where everything goes. Pretty much, Adam. Verbal grinding practice. Yeah, it's something that Alex and I actually discussed on the most recent Forgecast episode that we recorded, which will come out next Friday. So yeah, it's something that I'm probably going to have to look into. Done howling? Oh! When does it? make as much money as Alex Steele does. So, in other words, never. Hey Metal Man, how we going? I need more sponsors, yeah, for sure. My channel isn't big enough to provide sponsors. Yeah, sure, Adam. That sounds great. Well, I mean, you can feel free to do something similar yourself, Curtis. I'm not trademarking it. Screw up a couple things on the handle and then we can get to beveling. Oh, my mark. That's my maker's mark, not a trademark. Well, it's not staying like that, Metal Man. Sorry to disappoint. It'd make a decent sailor's knife in its current configuration. here in Samtown. Sounds like a good time, Ben. Ah, okay. See where I'm going. I'm not a tradesman though. I don't hold a trade certificate, so I can't call myself a tradesman. Give that little drop to the handle, makes it look a little nicer. Alright, now we bevel. So that's all going to get ground. I'm not too worried about it. It's the right length that I need. Sorry, I was just getting a drink. Getting a bit warm. Whew. Knows enough to know I don't know. Yeah, exactly right. Water. It did have coffee in it earlier. What am I doing? I'll do that. Alright, let's do that. Level time. Always pays to take it easy when you're cutting in the shoulders. 1084, Tim. Everything's wrong with shorter, Ben. Everything. ADCRV, no, there is literally no supplier of ADCRV or ADCRV2 at the moment in Australia. Although I think Gamico is getting an order in, which means I'll probably never get any. That heel is curved outwards away from the guard, but what's going to happen is that I forged the bevels, that'll curve the blade up, and then as I knock the blade down, that's going to push that heel backwards. Oh, you're the same height as me, metal man. Yeah, 1084 is kind of the town bike at the moment in Australia. On Facebook. All right, cool, we'll do. What's a foot and a half long friend? Well, Ben, I suppose you'd become best friends after a foot and a half. My bevel height to be the same the whole way along, and my edge thickness to be the same all the way along. That way I know I've got an even bevel. identify as 5. See you, Curtis. Oh, that sucks, Aaron. Morning, Nick. Bevel height. Now we can knock that down. As you'll know, there are several ways to do this. You could pre-bend and then let it straighten out as you forge bevels. I prefer to do it this way. Your mileage may vary. Heat it up a little bit more and turn that nose down a bit. if you can see what I'm doing, but I'm pointing the tip of the knife towards me. That's the easiest way to check for perfectly straight. That's about as bloody close to straight. Flip it around. Quickly check the tank for straightness. Check down the length like this, but I'm not going to tell you everything. Switch out tongs. Knife straightness is kind of relative, kind of like my straightness. Oh, relative. I'm making these adjustments cold, but they're not, I'm not forging the material, I'm just bending it. That is as bloody close to straight as I think I'm going to get it. Whew. So there you go. That is the as forged, rough forged, integral hunter. I'll flip the camera so I can see what you're saying, and you can see me. Oh, you want to do that anyway? So, yeah, that didn't drop it till the very end, of course. So yeah, so drop point, edge is a little bit wonky, but that's okay. Got your forged handle shape, handle's the right length, which is great. This guard's going to get moved back a little bit and ground in, and so yeah, she's pretty darn straight. Edge is relatively centered. Pretty good for all that. So I'll do a flash normalization. So I'll basically, once this stream's over, well, I can do it now, but what I normally do is just heat it up in the forge, run the forge pretty low, run the air pretty low, gently bring that knife back up to heat, and then turn the forge off and let it cool down in the forge. It's as close to a spheroidizing anneal cycle as you can get in a simple, kind of forge setting. This forge takes forever to cool down, so we'll see what that brings. But yeah, flash normalization, then grinding. Half a bag of jelly beans and consumes 5 shots of vodka. That sounds like a bad day. Tomorrow. I stamp my touch mark. I'll stamp it after I've done the pre-heat treat grinding. Hey, holla! See you later, holla! Or, hello, holla. And Bibbles ain't bacon. That's right, Nick. Yeah, pretty much, Ben. That's pretty much true. See you, Agnes. Thanks for checking in, bud. So, once that's up to critical, which is now about critical, I'll just shut the forge off and let the residual heat inside the forge all come down together, and then that'll do a rough forge anneal / normalization cycle, and then it'll be ready for grinding, and I'll do all of my preliminary profile grinding. I'll strip the scale off the bevels, get my geometry the way I want it. See you later, Ben. And then from there I will, like my hair? From there I will heat treat and then do the final grind. Thanks for coming, Ben. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that little foray into the forging. I don't know yet. I've got to message the customer just to make sure, because if he wants a silvery knife, then I don't want to leave it forge finished. Although this could be left forge finished if you want to. Thanks, Essential. Lots of practice. What Neil was saying about secondary heating chamber in a forge. Okay, so the way Niels builds forges is based on the Don Fogg design. So if you imagine, like a 9 kilo gas bottle chamber where the chamber is this long cylinder. Now his and the forge burner is normally kind of pointing into that whole thing. In his forges, the cylinder is vertical. I should probably just draw this. I'll do what I did for Caitlin. Sorry guys, 2 seconds. Okay. So, flip the camera so this is easier to see. So here we go. This is my, uber really good drawing. So Niels, when referring to when we were referring to the angled burner, obviously the flame is in direct contact with most surfaces inside this forge, kind of like my forge. Whereas in the Black Dragon forge, which is a Don Fogg style forge, the burner comes in at the bottom, is up here. So you've got your main oxidizing area down here, where all of the flame is happening from the burner, and the oxygen is mixing in the venturi, coming in and then exploding there. But because you run a rich flame here, this whole area becomes a reducing area, except for that small area where the oxygen is being ignited. And so therefore, when you have your piece here, this is the forge door, there is no oxygen in that area, and you've got 2 areas. You've got your direct flame and your indirect. And the indirect flame is going to be more reliable as far as creating reducing atmospheres and not having hotspots, because you don't have any direct flame on the piece. There are a few other designs that do similar things. The Beehive that was made by Fire Pants Fabrication had a vertical ribbon burner that blew upwards, and then it had a domed roof, so the flame curled over, and the forge floor was actually, the burner was slightly raised from the forge floor, and the forge floor was to the left of the burner, so that, you know, it could all sit in the non-direct flame. It's the same thing when you make a cyclonic chamber forge, where the flame is pointing to the side, or, you know, to 90 degrees at the top, or, you know, slightly angled, so that it runs along the wall rather than directly into the forge body, and that way you don't have any direct flame on your work. That's going to provide a more even heat, and it's also going to be more reliable for creating reducing atmospheres. Forge setups like mine, where the forge burner goes straight down into the body, will provide higher heats for a spot in the forge, but it is less efficient as it comes to oxidization. So that's one of the reasons that thing doesn't run very well. Yeah, I saw DF in the shop's video on his. Yeah, he had the right idea, but it wasn't implemented properly. Don Fogg's design, unlike Niels's basically just has 90 degrees straight into the bottom. Don Fogg's is actually at an angle at the bottom, much like a Devil Forge furnace for like a smelting, but obviously you've got the forge owners top. Yeah, the weed burners just don't have the punch that a proper Venturi burner will do. Kyle Royer, for instance, uses a Don Fogg style welding forge, which is what I kind of want to make. And that's basically the same thing. It's just a vertical forge with the burner at the bottom, which means that you're getting that reducing atmosphere at the top with no direct flame, which means that you're not getting hot spots in your material. And it's a much more reliable method of heating. The only disadvantages to that is that you can't just have like a small piece that you just chuck into the forge and leave it there, because there's no forge floor for it to sit on, and if you drop it in there, you have to fish it out of the bottom. So yeah, that's the reason some people use a bottom blast and a right angle. Yeah, that's correct. So the Don Fogg that I just explained, that Black Dragon Forge style, Don Fogg style burner forge is probably the best for forge welding, and that's why I want to build one, is for forge welding. But you have to weld a handle onto your material, because you can't drop the material into the forge, because there's no accessible forge floor, because it's basically free hanging in space. And the other reason the free hanging in space is really good is because you get even heat surrounding the whole thing. But of course, the only sacrifice to that is you can't work on small material. You have to work on long material, or if you're working on small material, weld a handle onto it. So I would suggest having something like a 9 kilo gas bottle forge, or something similar to this brick forge, although I wouldn't recommend using the heavy bricks like this one, and have like a cyclonic effect, or even a direct burner for your small stuff that you can, like, you know, if I want to forge on, for instance, let's just find a random piece of steel. If I wanted to forge on, I don't know why I would want to forge on something this small, but this tiny piece, I can literally chuck it in there, let it heat up, and then I can pull it out with tongs. And forge on it. In a Don Fogg style forge, which is amazing for forge welding, because the forge opening is here, but the burner's down there, if I drop that in, it drops right to the bottom, and I never get it back until I turn the forge off, let it cool down, and go in from the top with tongs to pull that bugger out. So it all depends on what kind of stuff you're making. But then again, you can never have too many forges. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 forges now, and I have a 6th that I lent to a friend. 3 of those are charcoal forges. One of them's a furnace, and 2 of them are gas forges, both brick forges. And I need to build at least 2 more. I need to build my Don Fogg style welding forge. Hey Jared, I need to build my Don Don Fog style welding forge and either like a ribbon burner main body forge like this, or a standard body forge for forging hammers and stuff. Because that thing is terribly thermally inefficient because it has huge doors and huge openings and no doors. So it doesn't hold the heat at all. So yeah, I will be doing a video on thermal efficiency at some point. And that kind of stuff. It'll be a very in-depth video about very in-depth stuff. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, look forward to that. But yeah, so forges are like one of those things that not a lot of people take a lot of time to think about, but it's a very important tool. I don't know, Jared, I think I'd challenge you on that one. But yeah, so it all depends on what you want to do. Like, you know, the reason I have multiple charcoal forges because I have a takedown mobile charcoal forge that's made out of a plowshare. I have my channel forge, my V-channel forge for forging long material like swords. And then I have a pot forge that, you know, is the standard kind of blacksmith's pot, which is deeper and wider, which means I can get large stock like hammers in there, you know, where I can't do that in my channel forge. The same thing with the gas forge. This gas forge weighs 85 kilos or thereabouts, and so therefore I can't move it anywhere. It's basically where it is where it stays. So I needed another gas forge, so I had a friend of mine who made a Kelpie ripoff, which is the Kelpie forge from Fire Pants Fabrication. It's fantastic. It's a little brick forge that runs similar burner to that, but smaller. And that's great for my classroom over in Oakford, which I teach classes on forging and stuff like that, and I needed something that I could be movable. Yes, ribbon burners have to be forced air. £400 of anthracite. Oh wow, I wish. Hard fire brick surrounded by refractory cement. Yeah, I mean, you know, mine isn't even fire brick. Like, I haven't really broken down why my forge is super thermally inefficient. I was going to wait for that video, and I will cover it in my video as well, but a quick rundown on why. These bricks here are not fire bricks. They are fire-hardened clay, like chimney bricks. They are solid clay. And then that whole width of that plate is high-density cast refractory. Then the whole width of this bottom plate is high-density cast refractory. So, like I said, and all of this is 6mm plate steel. And this stuff heats up. Like, this is very, very hot right now. If I get some water. There's a drop in there. That should not happen to a forge. That means that a lot of the thermal mass that's going in here is actually soaking through the walls and coming out your walls. The more thermally efficient your forge, there are thermally efficient forges that you can literally touch the side after running it at welding heat for a couple hours. So this is terribly thermally inefficient because it's losing heat out there. But not only that, you can see the size of the opening. My hands are quite large. The size of this opening, and there's no door because it wasn't built to be able to have a door, and I haven't altered it to make a door yet. And I'm not going to because I'm going to build a new forge and this thing's going to get thrown away. And the back has a similar sized orifice, so that is why it's very thermally inefficient. You definitely should have used 2 layers of wool. 2.5 inch, quarter-inch, half inch is better than night or DMT or something like that. What haven't you forgotten, Daniel? I'm not sure what you're apologizing for. I don't understand. I mean, it's not that I'm too cheap, I'm just too lazy. My burner. Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah, that's right. That's all good. I'm not in a rush. Not in a rush. Tis no problem. Spinny circle of death. You look me. It's alright. I'll move out here as we're ending the show anyway. The rain has ended, and so is my stream. Yeah, I'm definitely planning on building these new forges very soon because I need to increase my efficiency, and it's just one of those things. 3 to 4 hours of 20-pound bottle. Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. I mean, you could get a little bit more efficiency out of that, but you know, that's about right. That's why I bought the Gamiko kit. Yeah, well, I mean, the Gamiko kit's pretty good, and I've actually considered buying it to make my Don Fog style forge because it's pretty much the cheapest option. Yeah, I'll think about it. I did have a friend who had a whole bunch of ISA wool, KO wool, but unfortunately he used it all, and now I can't get any off him, so I'll have to wait. But yeah, so that's the plan. I do have plans to build some new forges and a whole bunch of stuff. I think it's like 120 bucks, 120, 200 bucks for the forge refractory kit. You can in America, you can't here in Australia. We're not allowed to ship that kind of thing around Australia for some stupid friggin' reason. Or at least Amazon won't let you. Amazon won't let you buy a lot of stuff that the Americans can, so be thankful. But yeah, so yeah, well, I'll definitely do some videos on my forges a little bit more. And as I build the new gas forges, obviously I'll do some videos on that as well. Castable refractory is just basically exactly what it says on the tin. It's a refractory cement that is castable. Satanite is technically a castable refractory, but there are, if you look up refractory suppliers or kiln suppliers, Castelite, yeah, Castelite's a good version of refractory, but you can get high density, medium density, and low density. And the higher the density, the less thermally efficient it is, but the less frangible it is. So if you've got a high density cast refractory, it'll last longer, but it won't be as thermally efficient. Whereas if you've got a light density refractory, it'll be a lot more thermally efficient, but it won't last as long because it crumbles. It's kind of like thermal. It's like kind of like fire bricks. You get like fire bricks, which are really, really light density, and they break down really quickly, and then you get terrible stuff like the high density clay bricks, which anyway. Yeah, there are refractory suppliers all over the place. You can buy it there. I'm trying to find a place that'll sell me less than 100 foot of KO wool because it's freaking expensive. But yeah. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to jump off. I've got some work to do. I've got to help my wife clean out the chicken coop and do a whole bunch of stuff now that the rain's done. So, yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Mizu, I haven't played with that, so I don't know. Yeah, it's probably not, I'm not probably the best person to ask about that. Have a good one, guys. Yeah, sorry for rambling, but yeah, I will see you. I'm hoping to upload a video tomorrow of a build that I've been working on for a couple of weeks. This week I was a little bit kind of thrown out of whack with the 48-hour dagger challenge, so if you're looking forward to a new build video from me, it will be coming out either tomorrow or Monday. I'm thinking probably Monday because I'll want to put it out to my patrons first for 24 hours. So if you want to see my videos 24 hours before they're uploaded, make sure to join my Patreon. And I will see you in the next video. See you guys. Oh dear.